Welcome to episode number 7 of the InnerTuning podcast. My name is Richard Matasaw. InnerTuning is a practical system for spiritual and psychological well-being. It was created by Sri Shyamji Bhatnagar and is based on his discovery of the Microchakras, which are 147 stages of human awareness from complete ignorance all the way to enlightenment. Sri Shyamji is the founder of the Chakra Institute, co-author of the book Microchakras, and a world-renowned master of naada yoga, the yoga of sound. To learn more about Sri Shyamji, visit the website chakrainstitute.com. In today's episode, we will speak with Sri Shyamji about the 7 chakra minds. We will discuss the focus of each of these different minds and how they're both separate and interconnected. We will also elaborate on the inner tuning approach to keep all of these minds healthy and balanced. Sri Shyamji, could you please start us off by explaining this concept of every chakra having a mind of its own?
Yes. First of all, the light of the first chakra, when it is absorbed by various parts of our body, namely our animal brain, cobra brain, our nose, our heel, and thighs, and our anus. These are the parts that are influenced by the light of the first chakra, called Mooladhara, fundamental base. That's why in the yoga system they say when you can get the complete light from the first chakra, your first chakra mind, which is the mind of your body, you fit in your body. You are a caretaker. I was looking for a word. I didn't want to say love for your body, but love to me is a care. Whenever you care for something, you love it. So if you love your body, then your first chakra mind will receive that. But when you care for your body and you're not getting enough light from your first chakra mind, then your first chakra mind gets confused. And when that confusion occurs, psychological issues start to take place, which is that I don't know what this body is all about. So I start to mess with it by taking opium, by taking intoxicants that make you numb about the identity of the mind of the first chakra. And then people try to alter their bodies. People try to, those who care, they will take to yoga, they will develop a proper seat. And it is the secret of the first chakra mind is to develop a comfortable seat. Sitting. The element of the first chakra mind is earth. That means sitting on earth comfortably like a triangle, so that your spine can act like an antenna. Because all the messages from all the 7 chakra minds, they enter through our spine. Spine is considered the center of human existence. And once your first chakra mind is clear, you have 2 good healthy bowel movements every day, you eat 3 proper meals every day, you do proper yoga exercises that are needed for your body type, the mind of your first chakra will be happy.
Let me ask you a question about the first chakra, since you elaborated on that. So how is it that the light of the first chakra can be optimized to help keep that mind healthy?
Yes. First of all 7 chakra minds are interconnected. Therefore, some of the things that I will be telling you about the first chakra also has an effect on the 6th chakra. In microchakra psychology, we make that connection clear. For example, the mind of the first chakra is represented in the 6th microchakra of the first. Because each chakra has a mind of its own. And the 6th stage is the mind representing the mind. Now, when your mind of the body is under your control, then the first microchakra in the 6th will start to vibrate. That means you have a 1-6-6-1 connection. And what is the 6th chakra about? Intuition. You intuitively will know what is the right thing to eat all day long. So that is the nature of the first chakra mind.
Okay, how about the 2nd chakra?
Second chakra mind is the mind of the gender. You see, first chakra mind is common to both men and women. Second chakra mind differs. Women look at relationships in a different way than men do. Even if they say love, the word is used in both genders. But how love is experienced, or there is an expectation from that love, it varies from men to women. Then within women there are different varieties of it, and in men there are different, but there's a primary difference between the mind of the gender in male body versus the female body. The light of the second chakra mind enters to our physical body through lower layers of the right hemisphere of the brain. Lower layers. There are 7 layers in both sides of your hemispheres. So first and second are connected with the 7th chakra mind. Then coming down, it's connected with your tongue, sense of taste. So the first chakra mind was smell, second chakra mind is taste. When you come down, it is connected with your genitals. When you further come down, it is connected with the, calves of your legs. And finally, the balls of your feet. Below the toes, there are those balls of the feet. They are all part of the second chakra. This is what the light responds to.
Okay, and then from the perspective of microchakra psychology, if the 6th microchakra and the 2nd is more open, does that mean that there's a convergence as far as the awareness of the gender approach, or how does it impact you if that microchakra is open more?
When it is open more, then you do not have a misunderstanding of your identity, your sexual identity. People go through in teenage a period, even Sigmund Freud noticed that they go through what is called a bisexual age, because they are not quite comfortable with their gender's mind is developing. It all depends on your relationship between 7 and 14 years of age if you're a boy, and 6 and 12 if you are a girl. That is a very important age to develop the second chakra mind, so that your identity does not waver and you accept your identity as nature has given you.
Okay, shall we go to the 3rd?
Yes, why not? Third chakra mind is fueled, as the first chakra was fueled by earth, second with water, third is with fire. So now let's see how our bodily functions are connected with the third chakra, fire element. The light that really is mostly absorbed is with the left hemisphere, the lower stages of the left hemisphere. Then eyes, they are the sense organ for the third chakra. Then solar plexus, knees. These are the parts that are connected with your third chakra mind. Now, basic nature of the third chakra mind is logic, rationality, and ability to exert power to protect your family and your home. First chakra needs a home, shelter. Second chakra needs a family. Third chakra needs ability to preserve it. And when you get adequate light, you have no difficulty exercising the first, second, third microchakras of your third chakra. That's what is needed.
I know from learning this system from you that the first three chakras make up the first linga, and it's conditional. So can you just comment for a moment on how these minds are conditional and what that means from the point of view of this psychology?
Yes, you're right. The first three chakra minds, they are clustered in one in one motivational principle. In fact, there are three motivational principles that human beings can experience in their lives. They don't have to. Many millions of people are only functioning with the first, second, and third chakra mind. They are all tied by this iron chain. You see the chain clearly in this? This is the iron chain.
Yes.
This is called the first motivational principle. That means every human being who is born, they have to go through the first linga. Linga. Linga actually means a mark, which represents the motivational principle. And the three minds, if they are not in sync with one another, each other, there are going to be problems in our growing up. In the third chakra age especially, much more attention is needed. Otherwise, people just react to the peer pressure because the parents' wisdom is usually not accepted in that age unless the first and the second chakra minds are in tune with one another. That means the first 12 years of girl's life and first 14 years of boy's life. You see, we are living at a time where people are being raised either by two parents or one parent or no parent. Whereas if you look at the history of how humans have evolved, we used to live as a tribe. Then from the tribe it became a large family where uncles, aunts, grandparents, and everybody lived together. So there is a sense of relationship with each person you are living with. Now you are living with toys and mobiles and security blankets and teddy bears, and then you just send them to school prematurely. The education system is totally designed to be competitive, to succeed in the world. So it is too much pressure on the minds of the first three chakras as students. And that creates a lot of stress, cortisol, and problems begin. So we need to really reflect on some major changes as the leaders of the society. And as an individual, you should know what your needs are, because it is the need that creates, invention.
So what is the motivational principle of the first linga?
The motivational principle is to preserve yourself, your race, by having family, and create a harmony in the life of your family and your community.
Okay.
with all the arts and everything. When you study the microchakra psychology, you will see that all the arts and sciences and aesthetics, they are all within the first three chakras, especially the visual cortex, the eyes. Eyes, without eyes there is no aesthetics in terms of sculptures and paintings or even watching dances, going to even the concerts. Yes, a blind person can listen to music, which means their fifth microchakra of the third will be very sophisticated. They could be a good musician themselves. So it is for personal preservation of the society. That is the responsibility of the third chakra mind.
Okay. So as we continue this journey towards the fourth, how is it that on a practical level we can optimize our chances of melting that iron chain and getting into the land of unconditional?
The unconditional loving mind is of the heart chakra mind. It is called anahat chakra. Anahat means a soundless sound, unending sound, which is only possible for you to hear if the unconditionally loving mind is active. And it enters into the fourth microchakras of the third, second, and first. That connection has to be made. That is the nature of the heart chakra mind. It's just unconditionally loving. Only problem the heart chakra mind has, it just doesn't know who to love unconditionally. So in the beginning, people just experience that love for their mate, and then it is transferred to their children, and it is transferred through the fourth microchakras of the third, second, and first. Purely, the unconditional love is expressed when you tap into the feelings that you have not discovered yet. That mind is always looking for ways. That's when you get into the philosophical side of devotion, a passion for something that really inspires you, that you forget to eat, you forget to sleep, you're just totally absorbed by that that object of unconditional love. For example, when people are composers or they write music or poetry or essays or novels, they get absolutely absorbed in that. That absorption is a way to develop the higher stages of the unconditionally loving heart chakra mind.
So to summarize, please tell me if I'm correct here. Each chakra essentially has its own mind, and the interconnectivity is represented in the microchakra that corresponds to that chakra. So there's an influence of each mind within each chakra, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we're in the second linga, the fourth and the fifth chakras, and on our journey, we're at the level of the fifth chakra. What is that mind all about?
The fifth chakra mind is the mind of your discovery of your inner guide. You know, we have accumulated wisdom from the time life started, like when we were just a single cell amoeba, and miraculously we divided it. Scientists still don't know how that took place. Anyhow, we made it till the human being. So we have found creative ways to be able to sustain life and keep on evolving, evolving, evolving. From the spine that was parallel with the ground to the spine that is now perpendicular to the ground. And the evolution is still taking place. So basically there are two types of people. One type is who just takes this evolution and just lives normal life with the normal standards the society sets. Then there are other types who want to keep evolving. And that evolution depends on how your body is. If you keep your spine straight, if you don't sit in the sofas, you go to sleep early, you wake up early, you properly nourish your body and exercise properly, what will happen is that your creative mind will then be very productive. That doesn't mean that you cannot create things if your spine is not straight. That's not what I'm suggesting. There are many people who are actually addicts of different drugs, and they have done great creative work like Van Gogh and Michelangelo and many, many other artists that you know. But I'm talking about with the orientation where you are continuously evolving and discovering your inner guide. That is the mind of the sixth chakra. It's the creativity as well as the inner guide. We call it inner guru. The guru is within us.
So that's the fifth chakra or the sixth chakra?
Fifth.
Okay.
It's the sixth microchakra of the fifth. And the bodily connections are ears, vocal cords, inner ear.
I assume that this linga also has a motivational principle that ties it together. What is that?
Well, it's called silver chain. You see, the first linga was the iron chain, second linga is silver chain. And it is through sound and by producing the most delicate akasha, it's called Surya Akasha, a solar space, solar ether. Ether is actually a better word for it, because that makes the silver melt. And the inner guide, inner guru, knows how to do it. So this is why people look for a guru outside, so that the guru can then teach you how to awaken the guru inside you. Everybody has a guru inside themselves. It is the wisdom we have accumulated from times and times immemorial.
So now we're on the journey to the sixth chakra into the third linga. How is that mind involved with all of this?
When you rise above the material, so to speak, part of the universe, which is the earth, water, fire, air, and space, which is the fifth chakra, now you enter into the realm of what is called the gunas, G-U-N-A-S, guna. Guna means a quality. In nature there is a quality, like you have inertia, you have dark energy, dark matter, and then you have light, and then you have wisdom, the truth. So the third linga is more oriented towards your own spiritual quest in really finding out what is your true identity, which is beyond your body mind, your gender mind, your rational mind, your unconditionally loving mind, your inner guide. Inner guide is there to point the way. And pointing the way is what causes you to be able to produce what I call Surya Akasha. Make sounds in a way that will melt that silver chain. Entering into the field of the gunas. Then you see the three gunas over there. Dark energy, dark matter, light, and wisdom, the truth. Balancing those three is where the sixth chakra mind is capable to do that. Many people have done that, and there are roadmaps for it. India has done great work in order to work with the third linga, what is called the Itar linga, that just takes you to an area where you realize that there is a seventh chakra mind. And that seventh chakra mind is pure consciousness. You begin to realize that everything else depends on that pure consciousness, which is there before the universes or multiverses came and will always be there when they are back to their sources, whether they are black holes or brown holes or whatever, wherever they go and wherever they come from. Consciousness pervades. It's always there. It is never born, never does it die. And that is what we need to realize with the seventh chakra mind.
It's so amazing how this all fits together. What I started to think about as you were explaining all of this is, since the six microchakras represent the minds in all the chakras, they're clearly coming from the light of the sixth chakra, since that's how I understand this all works. So, as we've said in previous podcasts, the sixth chakra mind can be considered the commander-in-chief in a way. Could you elaborate on what that means and what this interconnectivity is really about?
Sixth chakra mind is fueled by our pineal gland, which is the only light sensitive gland we have in our body. And if we respect our own pineal gland, then we have to use the light in a very careful way, especially at night, when the nature is designed to have the sixth chakra mind, the pineal gland rather, produce melatonin so that we can enjoy the deep sleep. That pure consciousness that we are in that, in the deep sleep. If we go to sleep early, you will get good quality of melatonin naturally available to you. And then in the morning, you will wake up on your own, without drinking coffee, without having any stimulant. You are feeling good and awake. You can still have your coffee after breakfast if you enjoy coffee. But you don't have coffee to wake up. You wake up because it's time to wake up, and you are filled with serotonin that your pineal gland is offering you as it senses the light of the sun. That is the number one practice that every spiritual tradition tries to follow. They don't put it together like I am putting it together, but as a result of following that, they take the benefit. That is the nature of the sixth chakra mind, to keep everything in balance. Whether it's the first chakra mind, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, because it's the commander-in-chief. It's his responsibility. If any other chakra mind is not behaving right, it is the fault of the sixth chakra mind. And most people don't have that mind awake. Therefore, they work with the lower chakra minds, and lower chakra minds by themselves are not capable to carry this responsibility of all seven chakra minds. Somebody has to navigate it. Seventh chakra mind is too content. That's way out there. It's tuned into consciousness. It's the sixth chakra mind that really is responsible to run the show. He's like a huge ship, and he's the captain.
And how would we optimize the sixth chakra mind if we feel like the lower five are maybe a little bit out of control, or we're not clear on how to work with them, how do we strengthen the sixth in order to have that clarity?
After purifying your three different bodies, we call them, your thinking body, your feeling body, and your physical body. After you do the purifications, then you start to learn how to produce sounds early in the morning, just like 7 minutes before the sunrise, so that the akasha that you produce with your voice can direct the energy of Surya Akasha towards the third linga, because it melts the silver chain. To reach the sixth chakra mind is difficult. Once you get there, sixth chakra mind is doing its job wonderfully, while we are even unconscious of it. Everybody doesn't say that, oh yeah, my pineal gland is producing serotonin in the morning. You don't experience that. But you have had a good night's sleep. If you get to bed at 9 o'clock at night, you are up at 5 o'clock and feeling good. So there are some inner tuning practices that we learn in our purifications or in the workshop.
Yes, and as a testimonial, I can share that the purifications have helped me in tremendous ways. And for people that are new to this, it's basically 4 or 5 days, and currently they're offered on Zoom. They still have a tremendous impact, and it's an opportunity to purify the physical body with protocols, and more than that, to get a lot of work with sound and teachings that help on the subtle level. So a lot of these microchakras that seem really obscure that we talk about, you actually have an experience with some of those opening up and some of the clarity that comes through with the creation of the Surya Akash. So it's a good way, if you're interested in this work, to have a direct experience with it all coming together. And there's information on that on the Chakra Institute website. I wanted to see if Marcia, who's also on this episode today and has a wealth of knowledge and information on this work and is such a wonderful woman, if she would want to share a testimonial.
Well, actually, Richard, I'd also like to add on to what you said about the purifications, because I've done probably over many, many years, at least 40 of them, and they've transformed my life. I can't say enough. I get so deeply moved about it. The blockages and openings within my microchakras, within each of the 7 chakras, have totally transformed over time because of the work that is done in those purifications. Both the physical work we do on ourselves as we do exercises, and the purifications that come through sound and through Surya Akash, the deliberative aspects that we do in terms of journaling and reflecting on the self, all contribute to an extraordinary experience that both compacts our 3 bodies, that reduces the chains of the iron, the silver, and the gold, and allow us to reach those higher levels, the higher chakras and the microchakras. My experience has been extraordinary, but it is not exemplary. It is the experience of many who have taken these, and everyone can benefit from them.
Thank you, Marcia. Sri Shyamji, to conclude this episode, would you please share a chant for us?
Brahma, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Maheshwara, Brahma, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Vara Mahesh Vara Brahm